There are situations where we need different implementations of a method, but with different parameters. For example, look at this calculate wage method. Here we're passing 10 as the extra hours, but what if in a given month, this employee doesn't work any extra hours? We can either pass 0 here, or create a different implementation of this method that doesn't take any parameters, like this. This is what we call method overloading. So overloading a method means creating different implementations of it, but with different parameters. So back to our employee class. Here's our calculate wage method. I'm going to select these few lines and press Command and D to duplicate them, like this, right? Now we have a compilation error because we have repeated this method with the exact same parameter. So we're going to change the second implementation and remove this parameter. Now here we need to change this logic. Because we don't have extra hours anymore, we need to remove this expression. So we only return the base salary. This is one way to solve this problem. Another way is to call the calculate wage method, but pass 0 as the extra hours. So we can reuse the logic that is already here. Let me show you. So we call calculate wage and pass 0 as the argument. So we have overloaded the calculate wage method twice. In one implementation, we get the extra hours. In the other implementation, we don't receive any values. Now back to our main class. Now we can call this method with or without parameters. Now in some languages like Python and C#, we can set default values for our parameters. So instead of overloading this calculate wage method here, we can set a default value for this parameter. Unfortunately, this is not possible in Java at the time of recording this video. So the only way to make one or more parameters optional is by overloading a method. However, remember that overloading a method too many times will make your application hard to maintain because you'll end up with so many different variations and these methods will call each other. It just gets ugly. In this tutorial, I just wanted to show you how to overload a method, but I personally would prefer not to overload this method and pass 0 as the extra hours here. The benefit that we get when overloading this method is really tiny. So if we don't pass any values, we can call this method like this. This is a tiny improvement in terms of making our code cleaner. In my experience, it's often better to overload a method if you're dealing with completely different types of parameters. For example, one implementation might take 2 integers, the other might take an employee object. These are radically different. So be aware of method overloading, but don't overuse it.